Hello, everybody. Hi, Unlimited Wisdom family and community. Thank you very much for jumping on. And thank you, Dustin, Mary, Melody, Scott, Matthew, Hannah, Ez. Terry's here. So, got Lisa Marie, Sandy, and Brother Bill. And of course, the hostess with the mostest, Craig Jackman. So yeah, today got a great idea from Craig on the subject to cover, and I posted this, and I think a lot of you will resonate with this. Promise yourself that today is the day that you stop stressing over things that you can't control and focus on the things that you can. And maybe that really is for a good thought when you talk about Friday the 13th, right? So, how many of you actually on Friday the 13th actually grew up around people or around situations where you had a little bit of superstition? You know what I mean? You got people are like, "Hey, we won the football game, so I'm not gonna wash these socks." I'm just but there is a lot of things out there that grab our superstition. Don't walk underneath a ladder. When it's open. Don't cross the path of a black cat. There's probably a lot of things out there, but it is pretty interesting. The superstition, is something that in our mind that we think that we can control. You had your favorite socks on softball lately, Lisa Marie? Yeah. And one of the things that also with everything that's crazy happening in the world right now, it's like I think sometimes in life we just really, really, really sometimes feel not only overwhelmed, but a little out of control. But it does make you really, really think about what do you have control over? And all through my life, I always notice that there's sometimes very few things that you have control over. So when you could really, really narrow down the things that you do control, which are what? Your emotions, your actions. Um, sometimes, sometimes there's actions that you can do, but you still might be in a surrounding that's out of your control. Like some people like to, uh, you know, do incredible stuff on social media. And then once they do great stuff on social media, they can also get in a position where they have unrealistic expectations about could happen on social media because they're in their mind, they're like, I'm going to do what I'm supposed to do. I got control of coming up with great ideas or creative ideas, posting those, and then putting them up. And then things out of your control, like, you might not get any likes on it. You might get compliance that's deal. Terry got a couple of notices or one notice from.
Three different posts on Immunitech.
Oh, three different posts.
So I sent him the finger emoji. No, I took them down. I wanted to. I took them down. And then I read while I was at the airport, you have to contact us after you do that. And I'm like, yeah, I'm not doing that.
so it was out of her control. So I sent them an email telling them that they were all taken down. And thanks a lot for Scott for getting on here. Thanks, Dustin. Jim, great to have you on here. So, if you really, really took the time to write down the things that you were in control of, you can actually put them in the chat if you wanted to, or make a comment if you wanted to. But what exactly are the things that we have control over?
What we eat,
Yeah, what we eat,
we watch,
what we watch.
how much money you make.
Do you really have control over that?
Well, what did Bill Gould say?
There's sometimes though you're where well she's saying the money you make. Okay, I'll just leave it that. Yeah.
Saying, what was it? I forget what it was, but yeah. You
Uh,
you can recruit yourself
oh, oh, oh.
problem.
Well, really came down to is, you can sell yourself out of any problem. But so that's yours. It's like I've been in situations over the years where I was doing exactly the same thing, and all of a sudden things changed where I had to learn how to be able to adapt to a new situation. Melody put mindset, belief, or Scott puts mindset. What you think, how much you exercise. That's a good one, Jim. That's a really good one. Our emotions. It is really, really interesting though, because now that we sort of opened up and said what we can control, how many of you find yourself a lot of times being affected of things that are out of your control? It's like people always say that they have control over their emotions or also their mindset, but then all of a sudden, if they're in not a good mood or they don't want to do anything or they're pissed off at everybody, it's like they don't have a very good situation of being able to change their attitude. It's like you just go, and I think that sometimes that people just like, listen, I'm okay being this way. Even though it affects what everything that happens to them. And I was really glad that Craig brought this up because the subject that I was going to talk about, but I didn't know how to talk about it because I just believed that it would be too short. Is when do you have that thing in your life where like Jim Rowan says, I'm just not willing to live like this anymore. You know what I mean? That you just go, I'm done. And if you guys don't know the story, I love telling the story. But Jim Rowan had a knock on his door and he opened it up and he said it was during a particular bad time in his life. And it was a Girl Scout, and the Girl Scout said, "Hello, sir. Would you like to buy some cookies?" And the very first thing that came out of his mouth is he said, "Listen, I already bought some cookies." And she just was nice, just was really, really nice. So thank you very much for supporting us, and turned around and walked off. And he said when he shut the door, he said, "How low and bad do you have to be in your life to lie to a Girl Scout?" And he was saying, I made some decisions in my life where I didn't have any money. And here I couldn't support, hi, Deborah. And here I couldn't support to be able to buy any Girl Scout cookies, but I chose to lie to a Girl Scout. And so his whole thing was, I'm not living like this anymore. I'm done. I'm done living like this. I'm going to find something else to do. And apparently I don't know what that was, but hey, he did it. But he was also the person that said, I've never heard anybody ever say stuff like this. Rowan would always say, sometimes you got to be not mean to yourself, but sometimes you need sort of a slap into reality. And he was going during that time, everyone would ask him, well, how you doing? How's everything going? And we all sort of just, I'm fine. I'm great. I'm doing okay. And Jim Rowan said that what he did is he took a copy of his bank statement and he used a magnet and he put it up on his refrigerator. And he said he just wanted a constant reminder that things weren't okay. That I need to find something and do something because what I'm currently doing is not getting me here where it is. And I thought that this would be a pretty interesting subject because we've talked about, in the last week, it's like, we did the thing, effing people, right? What I love about, anything to do with customers is, I love people, in network marketing. But what do you hate about, building a group? People. And so it really, really seems to me, and this could be out of my control, but it just seems that a lot of people in the world right now, and I reached out to, I'd say in the last week, I probably have reached out personally to over 1,000 people, and 1,000 new people. Because some of you have heard, that they're having some new meetings in Houston, but they're also having some new meetings in Mexico City, and then they're also having some meetings in Colombia. And I know a lot of people from Mexico. I know a lot of people from Colombia. And it was just, oh, there he is, Ezra Watch. Is it just really, really ended up being a lot of people are like, um, it was weird. It was just like seemed to be in a lull in their life. You know what I mean? It's like they were like, this ain't going good, and I don't know. I'm just not really, looking at doing anything right now. And I was going like, when are you gonna know? that Henri cry face. That was funny. Uh, but yeah, so that's one of the things that's really, really I thought I'd reach out. And Bill, right before we got on here, I want to go out of my way to thank you very much for the money. That's really, really awesome. If you want to do uh, um, a one-on-one with that money, just let me know. I always enjoy my time with you, but again, thank you very much for the contribution. That really meant the world to me. And so, yeah, do you guys have anything to talk about on this subject? It's pretty short. It's like, you got anything to say?
I already said it.
Oh,
Well, if we're going to go ahead and open up and share, then we might as well ask if you'd like to raise your hand. Let me see. There we go. Raise your hand and we'll call on you. Very, very simple to do. You can either raise your hand for those of you that have your cameras on, or click the raise hand button at the bottom where you see below our images if you put your cursor in the middle of the screen. We'll give it a moment here so that we can do that.
well,
Uh,
I'll bring up a neat one. It's like
Okay, yeah, I want to.
Lisa Marie. Right before we got on here, did a post where YouTube notifies her that she's unauthentic, and she no longer can be monetized. And I'm going like, I don't you think it's very interesting because that happened to Matt? Is like, how can an AI tell people that they're unauthentic?
That's exactly what they said, and what shocks me is because my AI created my character from my photo. Okay. And I'm recording my authentic voice every freaking day. But I think what it was is because they're saying repetition, like I'm mass uploading is the way they said it. And what I'm thinking is since I switched my videos, I started building the Fix It Fred. And I moved my Butchie and Buddy videos over there and kept just the scriptures for the one that's monetized.
Oh, got it. So you
Okay,
move. So you
since
move. How
yeah,
many videos did you move over at a time?
I didn't. I
Oh,
put new stuff up.
hi,
I didn't.
Sally.
I didn't move anything. I just started with new stuff. But what I think is what's happening on my monetized channel is they're seeing the same face, the same clothes every freaking day. And they're thinking that's being mass produced. You know what I mean? I'm
Right.
uploading 30 videos at a time and putting them out there, and it's not authentic. So, but I did read further, and these how I can what do you call it? Appeal. I
Yeah.
can make a video so they can see my face, they can see that it's me and tell them, and then just go from there. That's all I can do, I guess. And they said I could reapply in June.
Got it.
But I thought, son of a bitch, The last freaking year, I have done nothing but be
I was gonna say that
consistent.
didn't work for me, so I wouldn't even record the video.
Yeah, but Matt, yours is different because if she does an appeal and they look at her and she's got the videos that she does with Bible verses,
Nobody's gonna look at it.
You don't think so?
I'd still try it. There's not a reason not to, but I shot a whole video and went over my whole channel and even the plans that I wanted to do in the future with it. Uploaded the video to YouTube, it has 0 views. Nobody watched it.
Oh shit, I don't have a
So they didn't
chance
even
in hell.
watch it. They just immediately came back. Same thing. AI immediately came back. It's like, do you think Google has enough employees to watch somebody's video for every single appeal that happens for inauthentic content? They just don't. So there's nobody watching them. It's just like another step that they give you to jump through. But you could try it.
yeah, I would still try Lisa Marie because you never know. But
Yeah.
Right. I mean, how can they demonetize? Well, Matthew, God, you had 60 million views. I had 3 million for a little freaking peon. That was an achievement. And then they just take that away. I don't
Yeah.
get it.
Well,
Nothing has
they
changed.
didn't take the views away. They just took the monetization away.
No, my views since I switched that and started putting my Butchie and Buddy videos over on my Fix It Fred, my views went down dramatically on both, not just one or
Mm-hmm.
the other. They went down on both big
Yeah.
time. Because
Yeah.
I was getting 2 to 3 grand views every day, every
Mhm.
day, and all of a sudden now I got 7. It's like, what the hell's going on? You
Yeah.
so
know?
It's unfortunate.
this is a perfect example. How many of you guys realize that what's happening to Lisa Marie right now is definitely out of her control?
Yep.
It is.
So,
It is.
I know that you know this, Lisa, not making your story any less than what it is, but in 2012, I got up one day, it was like November of 2012, and I got up and my YouTube channel is gone. And we had so many videos on that thing. It was like Melody, man, I don't know when it was, but there was just a lot of videos that we lost. It was really, really sad.
Yeah.
So
Well, you know what? It's just,
it took me a couple of weeks to get over that.
I bet. I was crying today. I thought, gosh, all this for naught, all of it for naught. And even the monies I had in there, they're keeping that too. It's like, fuck you assholes. So
Yeah.
you know what? I thought, screw you, you two. Why do I want to go and continue to put I know I need to continue to post and put shit out there. I do, regardless what they say, because that's just another person. I give 2 shits what they think. But it's made me realize, you know what? I need to focus my ass on school. I need to start monetizing school. I need to start getting people into school and fuck the rest of those
Yeah,
goddamn.
you need to see everything else as like a funnel to where you want people to be. Like you don't want to focus on one platform for that specific reason. You know what I mean? That it can go away very
Exactly.
quickly.
Yeah.
And the rules change
Yeah.
consistently. So like, do I think that Google will change their tune? Like and I'm always honest and straight up with you guys, right? I think we have like 6 months, like I said before, probably less, before AI agents like mess up every social media network that exists. There's just not there's not an expert out there that doesn't feel that way. We don't know what we're gonna do about it. So I would expect there to be a lot more demonetization, a lot more movements away from creators and more towards and so that's why picking a platform like School that is creator focused. YouTube used to be, right? And now it's algorithmically focused. So they're trying to get engagement and views more now than they're trying to support creators. And it's been that way for a few years now. So since that's the case, you just have to monetize yourself somewhere else, right? Like if I wanted to create content on YouTube, I have to like stop swearing. I have to stop watching certain things. I have to stop promoting certain things. And, I was going through with Corky, and TikTok's like even worse, right? You're like not even allowed to talk about leaving the platform. And so I expect them all to get more and more like locked in with that type of stuff. I'm like in a place where, it's like what you said, Dad, and this was going to be like my thought process on what you shared. But it's
Right.
like, and then my question, how long or how many times do you do something that's not working before you give up and move on to something else? Like when the
Exactly.
results are just not there consistently
Sort of,
enough,
sort of sounds,
how long
sort
do
of
you
sounds
hold
like
on?
the definition of insanity, doesn't it?
Does. So you got to ask
It does.
yourself that, right?
Yeah.
Like I pushed hard on the YouTube thing. I think I'm the hardest pushing person here as far as it goes with YouTube and content creation. So if I'm giving up on it, what does that say? And I've already pivoted my business and moved it over to, not really over to school, but in general, I'm moving it over to multiple different things. So like for me, I just went, all right, this avenue is not a path. I didn't get upset about it. I didn't get angry about it. I just went, can't walk that path anymore. It's blocked. Gotta walk a different one. So you just figure out a different path to walk, right? And you figure it out
Right.
with your AI. You figure it out with what you want to accomplish or what you want to do. But I think a lot of people here could use, myself included, and this took a while. How long are you going to consistently do something that's not working for you and working in your life before you give up on it and move on to something that is?
Okay,
I,
Matt, but let
yeah.
me ask you something, Matt. Okay,
hmm
so I felt that success with YouTube. Was I making big bucks? No, but I
No,
could see
right,
it consistently growing over the years, right?
right.
So I hit 3 million views and then they pulled the rug out from under me. How does that even freaking
Because
make sense?
because it's not about the views. You know what I mean? Like even if they monetized your entire shorts, they're making like dollars. You know what I mean? And then they're passing that off, some of those dollars off to you. The reality of the situation is that shorts and TikTok and all of these, like I said, will eventually become like Sora, where anyone could just type in something and create a short instantaneously and post it. We're not that far away from that, and when that moment happens on YouTube, YouTube Shorts is pretty much done as a monetizable avenue. They're not going to allow it to be the same because it's like, well, most of the content's going to be AI content. That already is the case, pretty much. So it's like,
It,
Right.
how soon until, and I've said this before, right? When you have an AI agent, you can say, make me 15 make me 15 kitten shorts, right? Butchie and Buddy shorts, and upload them all at these times and have these be the storylines. And it just happens for you. And then just extrapolate that to a billion people. That's a lot of content. That's a lot of shit to wade through. All of it's AI. They are not paying all those people for all that content. It's not going to happen. So they're already preemptively preparing for that because you don't own your AI content. Under the United States law, it's not copyrightable unless if you really put a lot of decent amount of work after you've created what you've created. So you've edited it yourself. You've put it together yourself. So something like the Sower's Tale, if I edit that together, that is copyrightable. But if you generate something and then don't edit like 10 clips together or 5 clips together that are all edit generated, that does not count under copyrightable law in the United States, and they don't have to pay you for that because you can't sue them. So it's like, why would they?
that
You're going to
makes
see this on
sense.
Instagram, you're going to see this on Facebook, you're going to see this on all the platforms because they're actively lobbying for those laws to not exist, right?
hmm
And then they're also
Yeah.
building the technology that's going to push the barrier down so easy that you could just open up YouTube and say, make me a Butchie and Buddy short, 5 of them, and post them, and that's not that far away from being possible. So
Right.
it's
And
like,
I think what
yeah,
Sandy is doing, I think she needs to stay doing that because that is
yes,
as authentic as you can get. Same thing with
it's less
Robert's video.
views. That's the thing, though, is that the thing that people get addicted to is the fastest path to success every single time. So when I came to you guys and said, AI is starting to explode, you can make content a lot easier now, you can get views, you were one of the people, Lisa Marie, that hopped on board with that. Sandy was another one of those people.
Mm.
That well is one run dry. That's how quick that happened.
Wow.
And it's going to be
That's
faster for every single one after this. So the well runs dry because it only takes, you know, 5 people from China or 5 people from India to set up a server farm and spam the amount of content that's working, and then you don't even get seen anymore. It's a monetizable thing until it's not, and so that's where it's at, right? So if your Butchie and
You
Buddy
know,
shorts were getting millions of views, you would see thousands of other shorts that were identical, and they don't have to pay you a dime because you don't own Butchie and Buddy.
right. You know, I noticed that on Sora too. When
Hmm.
I make my Butchie Buddy videos, then it's like
Right.
the next day I see all these freaking cats doing the same thing mine did.
Yeah.
So, you
Well, and
know,
that's their
people are
plan,
just
isn't it? Like when you click on Sora and you see Remix, that's their obvious end goal, is to make a social network where everyone can create content and build off of one another. And that's kind of the
uh
gist of it. So, but this is a
yeah.
daily wisdom. I don't want to take it all up with this. So,
Hey,
No, thank you
but
though.
that's my question, Dad, for you is like how long? Because I feel like a lot of people here can, and I'll use myself as an example. I've been a teacher of AI and a teacher of this stuff for probably years. The moment I stopped doing that is the moment I started making money. Is because I just went, this avenue is not working for me. I'm not making money off of teaching this. Not enough to support my whole entire family. So I
right.
need to figure out other skills that I'm good at and go, that road doesn't work. I have to go down a different road, right? This isn't the road for me. So that took years to figure that out.
Can you guys hear me okay? The internet's gone down like 3 or 4 times for me.
Yeah,
I
we
can
So
hear
got
you.
you still. We're still good.
I coach Bob. Yeah, yeah. So I mean, I just wanted to bring that issue up, and for some of you that just got on, it's like how much are you focused on things that are out of your control? That was the deal. So I just wanted to reach out and let Lisa talk for a little bit because I just thought that it was a pretty big deal. I love her and I just want everything to work great for her. And it's like, what is the next step? It's like when me and Matt were doing Facebook advertising. It's like everything was going good until it wasn't. It was just like an immediate thing where everything changed. And then now it doesn't work anymore. So now that everything doesn't work anymore, then when we tried to do something different, then we lost our Facebook accounts for advertising. So that's when you just go, all right, I guess we got to find something else to do. And I know that some of you watched me get excited about me having my mind, not asking. My mind is going, listen, I'm going to create one of the fastest X accounts out there. I'm going to figure this out. I'll pay the big bucks to do it. And then, all of a sudden, I get a message just like you, Lisa Marie. It's like, but they didn't stop monetizing me. They just totally suspended the whole account. And it's like, what? And it was, you're not authentic. That's what it was. All I was putting up was me. You know what I mean? Me talking, not, so, I don't know how anyone in the world could possibly say that Sandy's not authentic. You know what I mean? But yeah, we don't have to talk anymore about that. I just thought it was a great subject for us all to write down. Again, moving forward, I thought Matt said a perfect thing. If the definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over and over, expecting a different result, when do you make a change? When do you go, all right, I'm done with this. I'm doing something else. And what is that something else? But then I started this whole thing by, going, I think I just feel a lot of people right now, probably not worldwide because it's crazy how fast my group is growing in Hungary and Romania. It's like they're growing like crazy, but it does seem like a lot of people in America right now just are pretty happy with status quo. And maybe they're just not feeling like they don't want to do anything because it's probably a lot of, fear and uncertainty and doubt. It's like, hey, let me wait till the world gets stabilized before I figure out what I'm going to do. I don't know. But I love each and every one of you. Happy Friday 13th to you. Now that Linda's on here, we're gonna shut it down. I'm joking, Linda. Just wrong, just wrong timing. But I love you, Shelly. I love you, Melody, Scott, Dustin, Mary, Nether, Scott, Linda, Coach Bob, Deborah, Jim, Lisa Marie, Sandy, and Bill. I'm gonna reach out to you again. Thank you so much for the incredible donation. That was so sweet. I love you, and we'll reach out and see what we're going to do. See you, Matt. Thanks for what you said. And
Thank you so much, Dad. Thank you, everybody.
Terry, got anything to say?
Bye.
All right, hostess with the mostest. Thank you very much, Craig. Love you. Bye.